Welcome back to Face It with Dr. G. I'm Dr. G, and I have the pleasure today of having this incredible woman with me to talk for as long as we want. No, probably around an hour. I have Yvonne Dellos with me. She is an extraordinary woman, an aesthetic injector, owns her own companies, plural, has an incredible mentorship as well as a conference, and I'll let her tell you all the things. So introduce yourself. I'm so happy to have you.
Yes. So I'm Yvonne Dellos. I'm a family nurse practitioner. Went to grad school to do reproductive medicine and by accident ended up in aesthetic medicine and just really fell in love with it. And I just like, this is my jam. This is where I'm supposed to be. So worked in aesthetics since January of 2014. Went out on my own in September of 2015. My first med spa was Results Medical Aesthetics and Weight Loss in rural Utah, so up by Park City, Wasatch Mountain. And I was really like the only injector in that area. I built and sold that practice last March to one of my students. And in 2018, I saw a need. At that time, I Google searched only 16 training programs in the country. And I didn't have great training in 2014. There weren't training programs like there are today. So I got a 4-hour training from a corporate trainer. They flew out from Florida. And then I got a manual and I had to read the manual to figure out what I was doing. So in 2018, I was on a road trip. I pulled a napkin out of the glove box and wrote the whole business plan. That was the end of May, June 1st. I applied for the business, and August, I had 8 students in my first class. So it's grown ever since. We've been debt free. We've been, in the black from day one. And then a few years after that, or that very next year, actually, after training a lot of other med spas, I saw another need, and that was where the aesthetic ER was created. So the first complication kit in the country. It is registered trademarked, and we have it in over 900 clinics across the US, Canada, and Europe. And it just continues to sell. So, and let's see, this was our third My Summit. We just finished yesterday. I just drove back yesterday.
So awesome.
It was amazing. Yeah. So like I was mentioning, we've already sold in one day a third of our ticket sales for 2025. So it's just growing and growing. I started business coaching for so many new injectors, not sure what to do, where to start, and how to grow. And so I do that, kind of do dabble in a lot of things.
Yeah, it's amazing. So for you, when you went into aesthetics and you were teaching yourself, you obviously built a practice that you then sold to a student, right? How did that happen?
Yes, yes.
And how was that for you?
Yes. So the community I've built, I just really believe that the women that I've had the privilege of training are the most loyal women. We've built a really beautiful community. And that's really how the conference started, was kind of my way of like a little family reunion of bringing all my students back together, which it's grown outside of our students. So Jen and we had trained her 5 years ago, and during COVID, I had 11 educators. So I wasn't actually the one who trained her. It was one of my educators, but she took a ton of trainings from us, became one of our medical directors, and we just stayed close friends. And then last year, I was just overwhelmed with all that I had on my plate. I was commuting that clinic for 6 years back and forth. It's a 4.5 hour commute. It snows up there. And I was living in a condo. And so it just got to the point where I needed to get some things off my plate. And that happened to be one of them. And so I had another student lined up to buy it, but the finances didn't quite work out for her. And Jen ended up we created a mastermind group with like 4 of my kind of top, business students that had exceeded really well. So we were talking about it in our mastermind group, and Jen's like, well, what if I want to buy it? And I said, well, if her financing doesn't go through, then I'll let you know. And sure enough, I let her know, and she came in with cash and bought it. And I'm sure it's made that and some sense. So She's brought on another nurse practitioner. She has two estheticians. She kept all my original staff. And I think all but one patient out of eight of the 8 year history I had them, all but one stayed with her. So, yeah.
Wow, that's so awesome. Is there a reason, because you hear all of this M&A talk, right? Is there a reason why you decided to go that route instead of selling to private equity? And I know it could be a touchy
Yeah.
subject. I think I know the answer, right? But I want to hear it from
Yeah.
you. Did you even consider that?
No, I never did. And it's because it's never been about the money. None of this
Yeah.
is about the money for me. I grew up on food stamps and welfare. My book will be out this fall titled From Food Stamps to Fortunes. And I've been blessed with an abundance. I have a very rich life and it's not money, it's not monetary things.
Yeah.
I have a beautiful, beautiful, rich life because of beautiful people in my life. And once I made, my first million, it was like kind of like Christmas, where you anticipate this, you work so hard all your life to become a millionaire. And then it's like, oh,
This is it?
oh,
It's like
yeah.
I'm not
And
fulfilled. Yeah.
yeah. And so, well, really it came down to is I just want to spend the rest of my life. I'm 47 in a few weeks. I want to just spend the rest of my life kind of giving my money away and doing charitable good things. So, it was never about the money. I just kind of really wanted to break even, whatever I put into it. And I wanted to give it to somebody that would love it and my patients as much as I did and keep my staff and grow it. And she's done a remarkable job. It's extremely successful. And truly, that's where my passion lies. And I have another student lined up to buy the school as
That's
well.
awesome.
So
That's
four
awesome. And I think
years.
that's,
Yeah.
yeah, that's incredible. And it's all about what works for you and what your goals are and your passions are. And I think that's a really amazing story because you don't hear it all the time. And maybe people don't know that's an option, right? And so, did you have a lawyer to help you with all of that? I mean, that's a whole process to sell it. How did you actually do it?
Yeah. So we use Justin Marty with Marty Law Group.
Yeah.
But, I really we pretty much just did it between the two of us.
Yeah.
Because my word is my word. I agreed that I would not solicit any of those patients, and we're still best of friends.
That's amazing.
So
It's so amazing.
I failed. Okay, this is a learning experience. Was I ended up giving her a lot of money back, probably 30,000 back of money that was left in wallets because that wasn't in our agreement.
Oh,
And because the relationship is so valuable to me that I was just like, well, I'll just pay you back for any outstanding membership credits. So if someone's wanting to sell, then be mindful. You want to make sure all of that's in writing. But again, I value the relationship so much more than the monetary
yeah.
value of the business. And so she just volunteered at my conference. We're the best of friends.
It's
So
awesome. That's
yeah.
so great. That's so amazing. I love that. And you say it's more about the relationships than the money, obviously. And I think that's what we miss a lot of the time in the aesthetic industry. And I think it's because of the significant accelerated growth that we are witnessing day to day, and we just can't get ourselves together, right? It's what's next, what's next, what's next. Like, let's stop and let's truly see what's happening around us. Let's enjoy the relationships. Let's enjoy the journey. And I love that you're writing a book. I want to hear all those things because I've had a ghostwriter like over here on hold for so long, and I'm just like, it's not happening right now. But I'm sure that it's just was such an amazing exercise to get it all written down. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I've done a lot of self work, specifically the last couple of years as I've navigating kind of really just finding out who I am and what I truly want. And, I don't need more designer shoes. I don't need a bigger house. I don't need another car. I don't need any of that. I don't. And so I have an exit strategy, 4 years. I want to just sell everything, take the clothes on my back and just go serve and do humanitarian efforts. That's truly all I want to
That's
do.
amazing.
So I just launched my jewelry line. It's called Love for All Humanity, where we take the proceeds and we donate that to a cause. So our first line is for congenital heart defects, children with congenital heart defects. So the proceeds will go to that. Our second line launches in the spring. That is for abused women and children in honor of my mother. She was beat from her husbands, several of them. And my third line, my esthetician, beautiful, beautiful esthetician. The first time she let her son sleep with her, he passed away with SIDS. So his name was Zeppelin, and he appears to us in rainbows. And so Zeppy is our third collection. And so we're going to serve women who have lost their babies to SIDS. So,
Wow, that's incredible. And so is this
yeah,
line something that you've done yourself, or is it
yeah,
you
yeah.
build it yourself? I want to see.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
So I just took it off to wash my
Oh,
face, but I have my own custom ring. Inside each ring is our logo, and it's LF Heart H. So love for all humanity.
oh, I love
So
that.
the three pieces, we did a giveaway at the conference, so we gave away one piece. The other three pieces, they're custom. So it's your logo around your ring. And so
Oh, I
those
love
are
that.
custom pieces, and those 100% of the proceeds go to our efforts of
That's awesome.
giving back. So, and then
That's
we're just
amazing.
creating different pieces by inspiration and for each line. So,
That's
yeah,
amazing. Wow, it sounds like you have so many things obviously outside of what we do day in and day out. And that's why I was like, I think I know you, but I don't know all of these things. And so that's really amazing. And I know you've done a lot of self work, which you've mentioned, and figuring out who you are. And I feel I'm going through the same thing with respect to just what you want and who you are and where you fall into this world. And there's a lot of people that will say you work the first 40 years of your life fighting against who you are, your ego,
yeah,
your good ego, who you know you should be is different than who you are. And then you figure out the second half, you're changing, but you're not. You're going back to actually who you really are and who you
yeah,
started off as. So I think that's really powerful. And I don't know what it is about 40, but I'm sure there's a reason.
yeah,
But tell me a little bit about, you've been to Tony Robbins, right? Tell me about some of the inspirational,
yeah. I
your
do it
inspirational
all.
journeys. Yeah. You do it
I do it
all.
all. I probably get 3 books in the mail a week. I mean, I have my life. So I just hired Oprah Winfrey's coach, Tim
Oh, wow.
Story. He's my personal coach. I just flew to Houston last week. So this is him.
Oh, wow.
So I was at a business conference. I do a lot of conferences outside of our industry.
Hmm.
And I met a gentleman. He became a really good friend, actually became a client, and then I became a coaching client of his. He just flew in and watched the conference. So he called me and he said, Yvonne, I have an opportunity for you to meet some great people that I've been following on social media and, you know, Tony Robbins kind of people. And he's like, well, you fly to Houston for the day and have dinner. So it's like $1,500 for a ticket to be in the $100 million group for dinner. It's an inspirational talk, and we donated money to charitable causes and stuff. So Tim was actually speaking at this conference, and Tim and Alex are great friends. So we sat down, and then Tim and I just connected right away. And I said, I want to hire you because I have several coaches right now.
Yeah, that's
And I
good.
said, I want to hire you to help me get on more stages and have more impact. So today's my second session with him this afternoon. But he's amazing. He's wonderful. So I do believe, growing up on food stamps and welfare, I was never surrounded by big thinking people. And so that's really what I strive to do is be around big thinking people. And in that room of these mega millionaires and billionaires, I was just so I was just so impressed with their mindset. All they talked about was how they're going to make the world a better place, how they're serving humanity, and how they wanted to give to me and reach back and pull me up. And I was like, this is the coolest thing. Because what people want to think the rich do is, spend their money on nonsense and are greedy, and no, they're just the most beautiful humans because all they want to do is serve. And so that was really, really neat. I met a lot of great people. I just hired a clinical psychologist that does hypnosis therapy. And I met him through a professional skateboarder that was in this group in
Oh,
Houston. So I had my first session with him, and I have his book right here. So Dr. George Pratt,
beautiful
and he
choice.
teaches you really how to let go of those limiting beliefs. And he's like, I can skyrocket your career to the next level as high as you want to go because he's done it to all the celebrities. Like he works with everyone. So I did it, my first session with him right before the conference. And I
Wow.
truly, this was our best conference ever. I
Oh,
truly believe it's from his techniques that it was like, we blew it out of the park. And to have a quarter of my sales in one day,
yeah,
like
it's amazing.
it works. So
It's
yeah,
so awesome. And I think it's so powerful. I had a thought strategist. I put him on hold for a little bit because life has gotten a little crazy, but um, he calls himself a thought strategist, not a coach. And his name is Robin, and he's in Texas. And in the 5 months that I was working with him, it's not about actions. You know, a lot of coaches are like, this is what you need to do. Check box, check box, check box. It's totally about the mindset. It's about long term goals. We don't go from point A to F. How do we get to point B? How do we get to tomorrow? And what is that mindset and how do you think through things? So I think it's so powerful. And I think it's incredible that you have multiple of these that serve a different purpose in your life, obviously, and that you're
yeah,
continually seeking them out
yes,
because I
I'm
think people
obsessed.
think you're just born with this, right? Tell me a little bit about, yeah, your childhood if you're open to sharing,
Yeah,
what your childhood was like.
yeah. I do believe that, God, life, the universe, whatever you believe in, I believe the trials that you go through are meant to be shared. So I have a big
Mhm.
voice, I have a big personality. I don't hold back anything. It's in my book.
But were you
I
always like that or did you feel like when you were younger, did you feel like you could share those things?
No, I was
Yeah.
shame. It was guilt. I felt unworthy. I felt nobody would like me. I felt like I had to put this image out there that I was of worth, right?
Mm,
I had a nice car that I was in debt for. I couldn't afford. I had no business driving a Saab, a convertible Saab when I was
mm,
20. Um, so no, I grew up on food stamps and welfare. My mother, had 6 girls. I was the
wow.
product of a one night stand. So I was told my
Mm,
whole life I was a mistake. I was her mistake.
mm,
And so one of the first books I give my coaching clients is The Four Agreements. And I had to learn to reprogram my mind and let go of that agreement that she
mm,
gave me, right? So I'm the only one with an education. I'm the first generation millionaire on both sides. And that to me, again, it doesn't matter how much money, because your net worth is not your net value, right? Like I am so much more valuable than any money I could ever possibly be on this earth. But it took me years to figure that out and to find that. And I love myself. I really, really love myself. So for the first time, I love who I am. And so, really, really rough childhood. I was kicked out of my house at 14, living on the streets, living on the couches, living wherever I could, having sex at 14. My children are 14. Like I can't even imagine. So it was my nurse practitioner that I went to for pregnancy testing and birth control and STD screening at 14 that had such a big impact on me. That's why I'm a nurse practitioner today.
wow.
It's because of her. So I talk about this in my book. I don't have any guilt. I don't have any shame. I don't have any regret because I was sent here to experience all of this life. And so I let all of that go. I love who I am. I think I'm pretty great
You're
because
incredible.
I know, and not by what I've achieved, but because I have such a big heart and I love people and I want to help people. That's truly all I want to do. I'm not perfect. I F up all the time, but I look at it as, okay, this is my learning lesson. This is what I needed to learn. And by damn, I'm going to share that because why would I want somebody to go through what I went through? Let me just tell you what I went through, you know? Um,
How's your
I
relationship with your sisters, if you don't mind me asking?
I love
Do you
that you brought that up. We don't have a relationship because my
mm,
money makes people feel uncomfortable.
oh.
So if you haven't done the work, and if you're a big, shiny, bright star, you're going to make other people feel uncomfortable.
Hmm.
And that's not my responsibility. I'm at a point in my life where I love myself and I'm not going to dim my light for anyone. I will reach back and pull you up, sis. I'll help you 100%. But you're not going to pass your insecurities on to me. I'm not going to carry them. I'm not going to hold them. That's your work that you need to do. I will love you. I will help you, but I'm not going to accept your insecurities. So I've just had to distance myself because to preserve my own mental health, I work hard every day to be the best version of myself. I meditate, I journal, I spend a lot of time self-reflecting, trying to improve. And I just really do not want to be around anyone that's going to pull me, suck me dry, like use me. So my circle is small.
Yeah.
My time is valuable and precious, and I just love being alone.
Yeah.
So,
Wow, you're
yeah.
speaking to, I mean, every single word you say has so much meaning to me. I wish we had all day. But I've just been saying recently, I love being alone. And I've never been like that. I've always said I need to do this and that and busybody, da 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 da. Da. And yes, I'm
Mhm.
still a busybody, but I've been forced recently to be alone. And wow, was that a change, but also such a beautiful thing. And the amount of time to have self reflection, to do that work that you haven't given yourself the chance to do, and to truly realize who is that person or those people in your life that are there for a reason, right?
Yeah.
It's very powerful.
Yeah. I always say people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Mm.
And I'm really intentional. So, for example, I just met a fine gentleman. We were having dinner. It was Julie Bass Kaplan, Dan,
Mm.
Julie, and a bunch of us that had late flights or were staying an extra day. And we were having dinner. And I saw one gentleman sitting by himself. So I invited him to eat dinner with us. And then I saw another gentleman by
Oh, just
himself.
random people?
Yeah, that's totally me.
I
I
love it.
am,
That's so me too. I'd be like, come on
yeah,
over.
yeah. I'm your bestie. No one should be alone. We're all in this together.
Oh,
And so Tim joined us from Chicago. He ate dinner with us. And then I met Lee later on. And Lee, I could just see it in his eyes the minute he walked through the door. Just this sadness. Oh, girl, like I'm
oh,
an empath. I'm very intuitive. I can read people.
yeah.
And it just kept coming to me to check on him, check on him. So I eventually went and checked on him and introduced myself. He lost his wife 4 years ago. They
Mm.
were high school, like met right out of high school, two beautiful daughters, and he's just lost. Like I think I found him like right at the edge of, and
Wow.
we talk like that was Sunday night. We met yesterday for a walk. We've been texting and I've been checking in.
Wow.
And I said, listen, he literally, it was so beautiful. And I'll tell you exactly what he's not on social media or any of this, so I'm sure he wouldn't see this, but he said, because he's driving to Wyoming, he was only stopping in Park City for dinner. He said, I would like to stay in touch if you want to. And I said to him, if me being in your life brings you happiness and joy, then I would like to stay in touch as well. And he said, you brought so much joy to me. He said, there are many beautiful women in this world, but inner beauty is rare. You have that. What a special soul you are. And I believe people come to us for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Who, if you're not intentional, and every day I set an intention of who I want to show up as, we need each other. We really do. And it's the people that make life so much more beautiful. It's not the money. It's not the big house. It's not the BMW that drives really fast. It's none of that. We're not taking that with us. It's the
Yeah.
people. You should be damn proud, sis, of who you are and how you show up in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're such a gem because ironically, we're in a field that is very superficial, right? And how do we bring it to a different place, right? And I think that's part of your purpose too, is you're integrating everything and your life story and all the work you've done and all of the mentors and people in your life, right?
Yeah.
Coaches in your life,
Yeah.
and bringing it to your conference and beyond to say, stop, everyone, let's stop. Let's be real
Mhm.
people. Didn't you start your conference? Somebody posted on social media how you started it with something
Yeah.
really emotional and spiritual. What did you
Yeah.
say?
So I told my event planner, this is my first year hiring an event planner. I said, listen, I want the lights dim and I want tissues at every table.
Tissues.
She says, Yvonne, this is a medical conference. People are not going to be crying at your medical conference.
You're like, yeah,
Yes, they
right?
were. So when I was planning the talk, I really kind of wanted to open up and share why I decided to write the book. It's a really, really small book that leads them. It's me in this industry now, helping kind of just what I do for coaching. It's all mindset, into me writing my whole life. Like I literally have like 9 lives. It's crazy.
Mm.
And so as I was preparing the talk, I have a speaking coach. I'm going to do my TED talk next year. And I'm like the worst client because I really just speak from my gut and my inspiration. I can't, I try, I'll write a talk. And do you think I say any of it? No. I just literally, I'm just inspired at that moment and whatever comes out, comes out. So as I was preparing my talk, I changed it several times, of course. And I was thumbing through my photos that I have in literally a Ziploc bag,
Oh.
because I remembered like one of my earliest memories about being on food stamps. I was about 8 years old. And so I found a picture of me at 8 years old and I was uploading it to Canva to my slide deck. And Gretchen, I'm telling you, it hit me like,
Oh.
guess what I was wearing?
What?
Anybody who knows me, okay, let me just show you. Anybody who
Is it
follows
that
me,
Amazon dress that I love that I bought every color in?
I did too. I totally did too.
Love it. It's my favorite dress ever.
Yeah. So when someone, if you ask any of my tribe members, what's Yvonne's signature? It's a purple heart,
Mm.
right? So I sent this to my friend that's writing the foreword in my book. Okay, look, what am I wearing at
Oh
8 years
yeah.
old?
A little purple. Is it a sweatshirt with hearts
It's
on
a
it?
purple sweater with
Or is
hearts.
it? Yeah.
Life is always,
Yeah.
life is always telling you, teaching you, and guiding you. And I was telling them, I showed them, and everyone. So then we did an exercise, and we had closed our eyes, and I took them on a journey to find their 8 year old self.
Mm. Was
And
this
it just
planned or was this just you just
there was a little bit of it kind of planned. I knew I wanted to take them through this exercise because I do it at my women's conference. I have a
Mhm.
women's conference as well. And it's powerful. And this is what's really helped me. And I do it with my coaching clients. And it really helps you go inward and find your truth, your life's purpose.
Yeah.
And it was powerful. And then I gave them an assignment to set an intention for the weekend, to find an accountability partner, and to make 3 new friends. And so at the closing of it, we went around the room and people were just crying because they've made
Oh.
goals. One woman, after 26 years of working in the hospital, was resigning from her position the next day.
Wow.
And then another client was a coaching client of mine that flew in with her husband, and she gave her testimony of just the impact I've had. And it was so touching, and people were just in tears. It was
It's
like
amazing.
Dr. Chillicurry would call it a female version of Tony Robbins' experience. He sent me a really nice, beautiful card, and he says, Yvonne, when you asked me to speak at your conference last year, your verbal description was an understatement of what I truly experienced. He's like, this is firsthand, people
Oh,
must experience. So, yeah, it was pretty
that's
amazing.
amazing.
But that's my intention,
Yeah,
Gretchen.
and
That's
it
all I
allows
want to
people
do.
to take those guardrails off, down, take all of the armor off because going into a conference, people can experience, social
Yeah,
anxiety. They can act a
yeah,
certain way and feel certain things.
yeah,
But you're like, we're squashing that right away. This is
yeah,
not about that.
yeah,
This is about
yeah,
everything else and why everybody's there. So that's amazing.
yeah,
I love that. And then you guys did breakout sessions and you did do like injectable stuff, but
yeah,
how were
yeah.
the dinners? Were they those brought in
Good.
inspiration and all of that
Yeah.
too?
Yes. Yeah. And everyone was so, there was so much love. The vibe was so good. In fact, I want to invite you next year.
I would
I
love
really
to
want you
come.
there.
I would
I
love to
would want
come.
you to speak and be a part of it. I want you to experience it because
I would love
just because
to.
you're on your own journey. And I think, I learned this from Oprah. I think people think they're coming to me for Botox and filler training. That's just my platform.
Yeah.
There's so much more. I trained a student the weekend before, and I said, listen, I really, really want you to be there. How about we do this? How about we take it on trade? Your wife can do my hair and makeup, and you come to the conference. And he sent me a message last night, a video message, and it was 10 minutes long
Wow.
he's like, I go to medical conference all the time. I've never experienced anything like this.
Mm.
it was the most beautiful message and just of gratitude. And he wants to be there every year. And so I have hair and makeup
I
for you
love
when
it.
you come.
Oh,
His wife
you're
is
so
beautiful. She's
sweet.
darling.
You're so
So
sweet.
yeah,
Yeah, I used to do that pretty much at every conference. I've stopped because I think it served a certain purpose. I've really cut down on the traveling and the conferences totally in a whole holistic perspective. But I would look back at photos, and a lot of the time I wouldn't even recognize who I was.
yeah, yeah,
But that experience was really fun for me at the time, and it served a purpose. But I would love to have my makeup done.
yeah.
I would love it. But yeah, I think it's really fascinating how one of the first things you said was about all of those experiences are meant to be shared.
Yeah.
So you know Dr. Green, Lonnie Green, right?
Yes, he's going to be there next year as well.
Oh,
He's
he
going to speak for
is?
us. Yeah, he asked, he
Oh,
messaged
oh,
me
that'll be a
about a
sob
month
story
ago.
too. Oh,
Yeah.
he's amazing. So I've been on his podcast, which it hasn't gone live yet. It hasn't aired. I don't know when he's planning to do all that, but I knew I was like, okay, how do I prepare for this? Because he's going to ask me these wild questions. Oh my gosh. And he kept asking me these questions. And I was like, are these not the answers that you want? Because you keep asking me the same question. And I forget what he asked me. And I just started opening up about all of these things I had never talked about on a public forum. And it was how I was bullied like severely through middle school and high school and an impact that it had on me. And nobody knows this about me now, right? But he opened this door to like, whoa, I've obviously been needing to share this story and it has had a huge impact. And how does that come around now? But I was like, oh my gosh. So all of these little things that you do, you push so far down over time that you then not forget because you've compensated in actions in your life in certain ways, but it takes effort to get them out. I mean, it's
Yeah.
there, but it's not something that I'm wanting to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, and everybody has those things and everybody
Yeah.
has a journey. And I think even now, maybe it's just because I'm reaching out to people I haven't reached out to before and created relationships in my life more so now than ever. But maybe it's that, or maybe everyone is going through so many things. And I think more so now.
Yeah.
And I don't know what
Yeah.
it is about now, the time of the world.
Yeah.
What it is.
I think a lot of awakening. We're
Yeah.
becoming, I think we're getting a God's wink inkling of our truth. And we're like, oh, once we get a taste of it, we're like, yeah, we're not doing this bullshit anymore. Like, we're going to start stepping in pieces of freedom. I think once you start unpacking the labels, the shame, the guilt, those low frequency vibrations, once you start unpacking those, you're like, oh my gosh, life is beautiful. And it's meant to be beautiful. It's meant to be peaceful and blissful. And I just don't do drama. I shut it
Oh my
down.
gosh.
I'm not going to have any part in it. If I hear something, I'm going to the source. And truly, it's not my business anyway. But I just remind people to show up as their best self, their authentic self. People can judge me all they want because it's just a mere reflection of them. Has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I'm the only person that's ever walked in these shoes, and I have no place to judge anybody in their shoes. I can give them grace. I can love them. I can meet them where they're at. I can have boundaries. But I just every single day strive to be the best version of myself so I can make the world a more beautiful place.
Yeah.
So,
And it's so true and it is so authentic coming from you and it comes from a place that's not always been there, right? But that in itself, I think I've always been this very energetic, very outgoing, love people so much, almost to a fault. People are like, why are you hugging that person so tight? And you're just like too touchy-feely and you're doing this and you're doing that. I was like, this is who I am. I don't care what sex you are. I don't care if you're a dog or whatever. I'm allergic to dogs, so it wouldn't be a dog. But, oh, there's your puppy. Oh my God, that's so funny. Oh, you're so cute. I'm so allergic to you, but you're very, very cute. So I think it's a matter of just the energy. And when I was growing up, my sister would be like, we would just squeeze each other, like just and bite the insides of our mouth and be like, we have all this to give. And my sister would be like, do you ever feel like we're like a lot to handle?
yeah.
And she's like, do you ever feel like you just have to dumb down your energy to just like be able to relate to people sometimes? I'm like, yeah. And now in my life, I feel as though sometimes that can irritate people, right? Why are you so happy? Why are you positive? Why are you an optimist? They're like, no, it's not okay. It's not going to be okay tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, but if I sit here and dwell in the unhappiness and think it's not going to be good, then what misery am I going to live in? I can't do that. So yes, I
Yeah.
understand it's hard right now. We're going to get through it. We're going to get to the other side, et cetera, et cetera. And I've always been an extreme optimist. And it's these two. I actually took a personality test. Oh, you would probably know this, and I can't think of the name of it. I'll send it to you. But it was like extreme stubborn, like perfectionist with optimism. It's a dangerous combination because I think I can do
Sure.
literally anything. I feel,
Yeah.
and I feel zero guilt like you. What's the point of
Yeah.
guilt? Either change it or
Yeah.
move on. There's no point in
Yeah.
guilt.
Yeah.
But this optimism, I think you feel the same, is just some
Mhm.
people can't stand it. And they
Yeah.
either say you're inauthentic and you're fake, or they're just irritating and da 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 da. And it's like, I've realized that's not my problem anymore.
Right. Yeah.
I'm
And yes. I'm the
going to be
same
who I'm
way.
going to be.
Big energy. I'm a
Yeah.
big person. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
And
the
it's
same
like,
way. I felt
you
the
know, if you
same
don't want
way.
to be around me, then don't be around me.
Yeah. 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 But really, at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is that you like you, that you love you. And
Yeah.
most people don't. Most people don't like themselves. They don't even know themselves because they're not willing to
Hmm.
sit alone. And that's where you find yourself is doing a lot of alone time reflecting. It makes people very uncomfortable. They'll scroll, they'll listen to music, they'll do anything but be alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love you
And
for
it
that.
takes,
Thank
it
you for
takes,
sharing that with
yeah.
me because, yeah,
Yeah, I mean
yeah,
it's wild, but also, getting resources and help that you therapists or coaches that can help you, and then using those tools and sitting there alone and processing, right? And yeah, so many other things I could say, but I want to hear more about you. Oh my God, I'm throwing everything. Um, okay, so
yeah. Well, we need to have you
what do you
come
see
be
in
a part
like
of
the
our women's
next,
conference.
what? Yes, I would love to. Wait,
I said I would love to
tell
have
me
you
when
be a
that
part of
is.
our women's conference. Yeah. It's April, I think the last weekend of April, like the 27th, the 24th. It's going to be amazing. So here in St. George in southern Utah by Zion National Park, there's a brand new state-of-the-art resort going in. It's beautiful. It's a PGA
Mm.
golf course. So we're actually going to have a golf clinic because I don't know how to golf. And
I
so
don't
we'll
know
have a
how to
golf
golf either.
clinic.
Can we
We
do
have
this
an
together?
astrology. Yeah.
I love that.
It's called Her Success Summit. And we're having very
Okay.
powerful women because this is the thing, Gretchen, is like you are going to sacrifice something. If you are building your career, that's less
Mm.
time with your children and your husband. Like my marriage has suffered. Like it's in existence because I'm never home,
So is mine.
and my kids, yeah. Yeah. And so, I mean, we're best friends. We live around the block from each other. I've not ever
Mm.
told anyone, like, other than my close friends, this, but we really are best of friends. But that was a choice. I was like, "Well, this is how we're going to do it because I've grown leaps and bounds. And I, I'm not that stay-at-home mom. I'm not. I am a better mom when I'm living my truth and living my purpose and having an impact in the world. And so at the women's conference, we're talking, it's everything. It's owning your past, being present now, and then looking forward and creating and designing your future. So we do a lot of inner work. We have very powerful women that are leaders because I want them to share their story. What did they sacrifice to get where they're at? Because I've yet to meet a woman that has built a multi-million dollar company and is home every day to wake up their kids, make them breakfast, get them off to school, pick them up from school, do homework, have dinner, make dinner, have it at the table, tuck their kids in bed, and yet have an empire. I haven't met her yet. Um, and one woman I admire is Sarah Blakely, and I met her in person, and I
Yeah,
asked her
I was
that
there with
specific
you. You
question.
had that
Yes,
sign.
yes,
I
yes,
love that.
yes, yes.
I love
Did
that.
you see she launched her new shoes, sneaks?
Yes.
I just bought some.
So
And
you
I'm
did? Okay,
surprised
I
they're
need
not
to look
here
at them
yet.
again.
Yeah, I bought this emerald green color,
I
but
love that.
because I wanted to support her and whatever she does. I love what she's created and what she stands for. But
Hmm.
so this women's conference is really about, healing the sisterhood, coming together, loving each other, empowering each other, being in it together, and really like pushing each other. Because if women stepped into who they were truly meant to be, we could change this world. We really could change this world. And I'm on a mission to impact and inspire and 4 million women. I want to have a difference in
You
4
can do
million
it.
women's lives.
You
So
can do
I'm
it.
not going to stop until I die. So
I don't want you to
yeah,
stop.
I believe I can.
I
So
would
one
love
one
to be
woman at a
there.
time.
Yeah. And I think that's if it is that weekend, it's my
Okay. Yeah.
birthday weekend. So that would be really fun.
Oh
I would
my
love to be there.
gosh, we need to celebrate you.
It would be fun. No,
How old
but
will you
it would
be?
just be fun. I'll be 42.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. So
it's
I'm your
very
big sis.
exciting.
I'm 5 years older than you.
I love that. We're just thriving in the best time of our lives, though, and I truly
Yes.
believe that. And you know what's interesting about what you said and how if people actually lived in the moment of who they are and knew who they were and were, undeniably and unregrettably, your whatever the word is, just so incredibly authentic. But it's how do you find that? I truly
Yeah.
think it is just thinking and talking to people. How do you find out who you really are?
You got to go inward.
Yeah,
She's in there. You got
yeah.
to go meet your 8-year-old self and then look at and find your 80-year-old self. She's there guiding you every day. Right now, she's with you. So my coach, Tim, will say, stop, look, and listen to what life is trying to teach you. The people that are coming into your life, the lessons, the trials.
Hmm.
Stop, look, and listen. And when I started doing that, I mean, even before Tim, I've become like, I've really tapped into my intuitive gifts. I'm clairvoyant. I dreamt my dad's death a year and a half before he died, which was a blessing because it prepared me for it. I've dreamt a lot of things that have come to fruition. So I know we have gifts, but we don't see them and we don't hear them because we are distracted by the outside world. And that is people want to know how to get successful and they want abundance in their life. You've got to stop going outward. It's all inward,
Yeah,
all of
it's
it.
so powerful.
Yeah.
It really is. People don't know how, though,
No.
especially in
Yeah.
this craze of social media and all these
Yeah.
things. People have no idea,
Yeah.
and they numb themselves
Yeah.
to the point of no
Yeah.
return.
Yeah. And that's what my book's all about.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait to read it.
Yeah.
So incredible. Well, this has been amazing. We could talk
Yes.
forever. I can't wait for all the things. I'm so happy for you with the
Thank
summit that
you.
you just had. That's so amazing. I would love to support you
Thank you.
next
Well, we'll
year.
definitely have
And
you at both of our
yes,
conferences.
I would love that.
And I'll get you a book as soon as it's out.
I'll
Go
buy
ahead
it.
and
I'll
sign
support
it.
you. I want to
Thank
support you.
you.
I'll support you.
Thank you.
And hopefully I get to see you soon. Are you
Yeah.
off? Will you be at Aesthetic next?
Yes.
Or, okay,
Yes.
I'll get to see you
So
then,
I'll
and you get
squeeze
to
you
meet.
then.
Yes, and you can meet the
Okay.
team. Um,
Great.
and for everybody that wants to follow you on social, share your handles,
Yes.
Instagram
So,
handles.
yeah, the best of Yvonne is my personal one, and Medical Aesthetic Art Institute is the school. Yeah.
Awesome. And tell me the title of your book again, so people know.
From food stamps to fortunes.
From Food Stamps to Fortunes, and that will be available. Will it be on Amazon? Or what are
Yes.
the? Okay,
This fall. Yep. Later this fall. Yeah.
awesome.
Wrapping it up this week.
So
Yeah.
exciting.
Thank
So,
you.
yes, thank you so much for being here. This was so
Yeah.
powerful, so incredible. It was so great to get to know you more. And thank you all for listening or watching. Share with all your friends, like, subscribe, and we will see you again next time.